Pnawn da, good afternoon. Croeso i'r gwesti yma yn Morgan. Welcome to the castle here in Hensel for, I suppose, a press conference with a difference, a bit of history being made as we announce the squad to represent Wales. The 23 players will be representing Wales in the European Championships in France this summer. Delighted to see all the members of the press here, our Chief Executive Jonathan Ford and our President David Griffiths as well in attendance. Obviously the main focus of attention is on this gentleman, Chris Coleman, the National Team Manager, who will first of all read out the 23-man squad, and then I'll ask him a few general questions and then we'll open it up for the media and the press. Chris, if you'd like to announce the 23.
Yep, okay. The 23 players who have been selected to represent Wales in the 2016 tournament in France will be Wayne Hennessy, Danny Ward, Owen Williams, Ashley Williams, Neil Taylor, Chris Gunter, James Chester, James Collins, Jazz Richards, Joe Allen, Joe Ledley, Aaron Ramsey, Andy King, Johnny Williams, Dave Edwards, David Vaughan, Gareth Bale, Simon Church, Sam Vokes, George Williams. Who did I leave? Hal Robson Carnew, David Cottrell will be the 23. That's 23, right?
Nearly got there without looking at the script.
Nearly done it, yeah. Nearly done it.
Just first of all, if we just go through the basic decisions that you've had to make. You've had a week in Portugal. 3 goalkeepers, Wayne Hennessy, Danny Ward and Owen Williams. Last week Chris Maxwell joined as well, but those are the 3. Was that a simple choice?
The choices are when you're picking us. This is not like a normal get-together where we've got a game in the campaign or we've got a double-header or we've got a friendly game. We're talking about a tournament. We're talking about trying to get a squad together that's going to be well-balanced throughout the games and for the challenge ahead. So it was very difficult, some of the decisions. Very, very tight calls, but we've done it as best we can. We think it's a good, strong squad. So right the way through from the goalkeepers, defenders, midfield, strikers, we're analysing everything to making sure that we get everything right. And at the end of the season, the tournament's at the end of a season, a tough season. So we're looking at the players, where they are physically, where they are mentally. So there's a lot to be taken into consideration. But we think we've got a good squad of players going to France.
Ben Davies, James Chester, James Collins, Chris Gunter, Ashley Richards, Neil Taylor, and Ashley Williams. But in midfield, there's been all the talk about Joe Ledley. And I think the press and media were out in Portugal last week. We've noticed that Joe Allen didn't train on that particular day. The news concerning the 2 Joes at the moment? Yeah,
I think Joe Ledley looks, he looks very, very good. He trained on the grass, albeit with the medical team in Portugal, and looked very, very good. He's, his intent is incredible at the minute. He's obviously, like anybody would, he wants to be a part of it. He's played a huge part in the campaign. He's a big part of this squad and this team. So he's, the work he's put in is incredible, and he looks very good, Joe, at the minute. Joe Allen had a little knock in training, and at the minute we're not in a position where we need to rush or gamble. So we're taking our time with Joe. We expect him to be okay. Again, he'll be working with the medical team, but he'll be back in the grass pretty soon. So both players, at different stages, but both players we're looking at it as both players are positive.
And Gareth Bale came through Milan unscathed. Massive relief.
Yeah, we watched us. Like everybody watched the game, and first and foremost, congratulations to Gareth. 2 Champions League winners' medals in 3 years is unbelievable. And he's doing great work in Madrid and in Spain. He looked fantastic in the game. Great penalty. So he was limping a bit, but I think that was cramp. We know it was cramp. So 120 minutes under his belt. He's probably physically in better, Nick, than some of our players having that 120 minutes under his belt. So, yeah, that was great. Great for Gareth. All positive. He'll be in a good frame of mind, no doubt, this week with us. And now we're looking forward to having him back and to give him a good welcome and to congratulate him on another huge success.
And just finally, great week in Portugal and a very competitive game amongst the squad on Sunday.
Yeah, it was competitive. It's going to be. Last week was our players and the group we've got are very together. There's a great bond there. And there's always a good vibe. Last week was no different, except that the squad hadn't been announced, so there was one or two places up for grabs. They know that. They're not daft, the players. It was a tense week. It was a hard-working camp in which we worked them very, very hard, which is not easy for them. It was at the end of a long season. But we worked them hard, and added to that, they were waiting to find out who was in and who was out. So it was difficult for them. But nevertheless, they worked very, very well. And we got out of it what we wanted. We're glad we went there. It's a fantastic facility. Obviously, England have been there before us, and teams like Manchester United and Real Madrid have used it. That goes to show you the type of quality, the facility has. And we weren't disappointed. It was fantastic. But we got out of it what we wanted.
That's great. Thanks, Chris. We'll open it up, and then we'll do one-to-one interviews after, and then with the press, written press as well.
Chris, you said that
Rob.
Joe Ledley was looking very good. When do you expect him to be able to play a part? Will he be ready for Slovakia, or are you looking at England?
I think the way we're looking at Joe Ledley is, of course, we've got this week and next to assess exactly where he is. Is he available for Slovakia, or is he going to be available for that second game? And that's all we can say at the minute, Rob, to be honest. We can't say he's going to be ready at this time. The medical team don't know that. What they do know is, judging by his injury and the history of that type of injury, then he's ahead of the curve in his rehab. He looks fantastic. He's in great physical shape, and that's a credit to Joe. With that type of injury, my medical team can't say it's going to be this game, and that's a definite. All we can say is look at him, assess him, and like I say, he's ahead of the curve at the minute. He's looking good. We think he's got a good chance for that first game. We'll see. Between now and then, we'll see how he progresses with the injury. But at the moment, he looks good.
When did you tell the players, and did you ring the players that missed out as well to explain why?
No. I told them Sunday on our last day in Portugal after the game. I think people work differently, but I preferred to sit down with them and tell them. And it's not news I wanted to give any of them, because they're fantastic guys to work with. I can only take 23. So it's giving news like that. This is not news where you're leaving a player out of a team. Sometimes that's tough enough to do, but you're talking about something as big as this, then it's tough and it's hard. It wasn't a conversation I look forward to at all, but it needed to be done. It needed to be honest, which we were, and there was disappointment, which I expected. But we left it to the last possible moment, really. Before we had to name the 23 to you guys, and B, the last possible moment where we could give that news to the players, and that was in Portugal, and that was on Sunday.
Did you do that individually, Chris, or were the three of them all the players together?
No, individually. Individually, yeah. They were told him individually.
What was the reaction?
Yeah, it's some reacted differently to others. No matter what reaction I got, I would have understood as a good, bad, or indifferent, because, like I said, it's a huge event. There's a massive challenge in front of us, and everybody wants to be a part of it. And the problem is, not everybody can be a part of it. The guys who have been a part of it in the campaign, we can only take so many players. There was, it was some tough conversations, and that's just how it is. I didn't expect the players to be walking out of there with a smile on their face, and happy about it, which they weren't, of course. But that's the nature of the situation that we're in.
So you said that you weren't looking forward to those conversations. of the toughest things you've done in management, would you say?
Yeah, I think when I first became a manager, telling young players that they're not going to get a contract is really difficult, and that never gets any easier. And of course, something like this, we've never been involved in something like this, so explaining to players that they're not involved and why they're not involved, then it's really tough for them to take, because they've never been involved in a situation like this. They've been looking forward to it since we've qualified, knowing that they've got a chance of being involved, and then being told that they're not involved. That's a tough one for them to take.
Did you get the impression they knew what was coming when you called them in for a one-to-one, or?
One or two did, and I think maybe one or two didn't. But that's like I say, we can't. All we can do is be honest with them, give them the reasons why, knowing that they'll be disappointed. But as long as they understand where the reasons why, we've picked the 23 that we have, and that's how we went about it.
Can you explain the MAQ's, Paul Dummett and Adam Matthews decisions in particular? What the thought process was there, Chris?
No, I think the players, Adam Matthews, there's been defenders in his absence. The defenders there who have done very, very well in the campaign. Same with Paul Dummett. The players in the absence of these guys have had very, very good campaigns. And so over the last 2 years, been consistent, and they deserve to be there. Not because Paul and Adam have done anything wrong. It's just the players who have been in have done very well, and they deserve that. And with Emma, there's a host of players in that midfield. Emma's young. He's got a little bit of experience, playing against Holland and where he scored, and playing out in Ukraine where he played very, very well. And he's in good company in midfield. We've got experience in there, one or two younger ones also, and especially in the system which we play. So he's in good company. And I'd have no sleepless nights if Emma was with us, or even if we had to play Emma, start Emma in the game. He's a good player. He's a confident young man. But like I said, there's players in there also who have done very well. Dave Edwards done a great job for us against Israel and Cyprus towards the end of the campaign. He's got that experience of playing in different positions also, if we need to change of formation. So there's lots of things, like I said at the start, lots of things we had to take into consideration before naming it.
Can I just bring, can I just, sorry, just can Geraint just ask a
Chris,
question?
can we just take you back to Joe Ledley? Just how surprised are you when you're actually reading his name out today? It's only 24 days since he broke a leg. Are you really surprised you've been able to announce it?
I think, yeah, but I think, nowadays, the type of injury Joe's got, it's, certain players have been back in that time frame. It's not easy to do. It's tough to do, and you need a little bit of luck along the way, because when you're rehabbing, sometimes you have a little, you have a bad day, and that knocks you back, that sets you back. From when the time he did it to now, it's been good. Touch wood, it's been very good, and he looks good. But like I said, we can't say that he's going to be ready. We don't know that. All I can say is what we see, and I will look at it, and at the moment, he looks very, very good. Very positive. Doesn't mean he's guaranteed, we know that. But he's included because of what he brings to the team and the squad. And it's not just that, it's the fact that physically, at the moment, he's got a very good chance of being available. And he deserves a chance of that. So that's why he's been given the chance.
Is he worth the risk as well, even if he wasn't available for the group stages? If you progress, is he worth just having around and having a player like that to be able to come back in if you progress?
When you say the group stages, I think that's another conversation. If he's going to miss the first 3 games, because we don't know what's going to happen after that. It's all about those first 3 games. It's all about the first game. So we've got to get, if we were someone like Spain or Germany, or where you get to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, then you could say, okay, yeah, he won't be ready for the group stage, but he's going to be. We've never been in this position. We've never been to a quarterfinal of a tournament. We've never been in a tournament, not since 1958. So, no, the conversation would be, what stage of the group games is he going to be available for? That'll be the final conversation. And can he or can't he? At the moment, he's in, and he's in because he's looking good. He looks like he's got a great chance. And if he is available, because of what he's brought to us in the last 2 years, I'm not just talking about his Welsh career. In the last 2 years, he's been fantastic, Joe, on and off the pitch for us. So he deserves a chance as much as anybody.
And how do things change for you now? Gareth Bale has been unavailable with the friendlies back in March, unavailable up until now. Joining up with the squad soon, how much does the mentality of the squad change? How much will he bring to what you need for the next week, 10 days, fortnight before you leave?
Yeah, he's... you always have to, with someone as good as Bale, I think you always have to, you need to try and get as close to the level where he is as you can. As all of us, me included. If you've got a great player, which we have, and one of the best players in the world, then you're talking about levels are extremely high. So we need to all try to be realistic in where we can get to, but we need to be as best as we can to utilise what we've got, and players like himself and Rambo, and we've got some top players, Ashley Williams and Joe Allen. But to back them up, we've got good players also. I know everybody wants to talk about certain players, but we've got good players in this group. So standards need to be high, and they're expected to be high on and off the pitch. And yeah, I think we're talking about someone that's won the Champions League 2 years out of 3. Which incredible, really. So we know he's a top player. He won't be. None of us are going to the tournament. So not the time just to go to the tournament and say we can enjoy this. This is the work's been done. It's just started. The work, new challenges right in front of us. So and that's just started. Whatever we've done to get us here is done. It's gone. It's not going to get us to where we need to be in the summer. So this is the next challenge for all of us. For Gareth as well. When I think about some of the players I played with, great players, Rushy and Giggsy, players like that, they never got the chance to play on the world stage in a tournament. And now these players have got that, and they've earned it. So now let's go and make sure we do ourselves justice.
Chris, just like rumours about Hal Robson-Carter's fitness, and that Wes Burns might be travelling to Sweden as a travelling reserve. Could you bring us the latest on that situation?
Yeah, Hal picked up a little problem in the game on Sunday. His programme will be, we don't have to rush him for Sweden. We'll be looking at building him up ready to train the week building up to the Slovakia game. Wes is with us as backup. He was with us in Portugal. He had a great week. It was a pleasure to have. He had a great week's training, Wes. So he'll be coming with us also. Because obviously up until 48 hours, I think it is, before that first game, officially, if we need to make a change through injury, then we're allowed to do that. We're permitted to do that. So but we think Hal will be okay.
For the opening game against Slovakia?
Yeah, we're hoping for that. We think we're looking forward for him to be training in that week building up to Slovakia.